Well, hello and welcome to Waterproofing Wisdom, and this is issue number 5. My name is Ben. I'm the Technical Director of CSSW, and Waterproofing Wisdom is my monthly opportunity to share with you something about waterproofing from the past month, which I hope you find useful. And this past month, I spoke at a conference. It was the 2022 International Structural Waterproofing Conference, and then at the end of the day, we did a panel debate. And I'm there on the left, and there were some other people on stage who contributed to the revision of BS 8102, which is a protection of below ground buildings against ingress, water ingress. And that's code of practice that's been revised and issued this year. And it turns out there's some confusion around table 2, which is this grades of waterproofing performance. And so they're essentially the performance requirements. And it's in some ways fairly straightforward, but slightly different to how it used to be. And yeah, the debate was particularly around grade 1B. So grade 1A allows for some seepage, grade 1B allows for some dampness, and then grade 3 is dry. To me, the only confusion part is grade 2, which is waterproof, but there is some condensation permissible. So those are the 3 grades: grade 1A seepage, grade 1B damp, and then grade 3 it's dry. So what does that look like? Well, this is grade 1A, and you can see there is some seepage, there's water ingress, and both of these images are of basements where there's water ingress, and that actually isn't compliant with this specified grade, but it's a performance. So we can look at that and say that waterproofing performance is grade 1A. There's some seepage. It shouldn't be, and some repairs are required. So there's water ingress through cracks and things like that. Grade 1B, there shouldn't be any seepage, but there might be some damp patches, and that's what we're looking at on screen. There's some damp patches on a concrete wall. And that's, you know, that is suitable in various circumstances. And so if we look at a basement and we speak to the client and they say, oh, we're happy with some damp patches, we would do some due diligence on that. We'd speak to the architect and say what finishes are required in there, because often, even though the client thinks some dampness is permissible, actually the finishers don't think that. So if you've got plasterboard or timber in contact with the basement wall or floor, then really some dampness isn't permissible. And then we'd also check in particularly with the M&E engineers and talk about what is the ingress protection rating and all the plant and equipment that's going in here. And if it's still true that some dampness is permissible, we might say, here's the performance specification of grade 1B. So dampness is okay, seepage isn't. Now at CLW, we'd specify that a little bit more stringently and say a maximum damp size is XYZ. But that's generally how it works. Now, how do you design for that? Well, visit chapter 9 of BS 8102, and that will refer you to Eurocode 2 part 3 and tightness class 1, and you'd be looking at some of that content there. You may also use a waterproofing additive, but that's how we would look at the grades of waterproofing performance. So grade 1A seepage, grade 1B damp, grade 3 dry, and to be honest, I would largely ignore grade 2, but others may not. So thanks for watching. If that was useful to you, you might find a copy of our What's New with 8102 document helpful. It sort of summarizes some of the changes, and then at the end, we give a whole bunch of photos of damp patches or seepage, and that might be helpful to you to check in with clients and the rest of the design team and say, are we really happy with dampness? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.